So, I am a content creator in the esports realm. Basically, what I do ranges from interviewing players to actually working with an editorial team and make sure that things are working out for Invent, which is the company I work for currently. Before that, I used to create my own content. I made all sorts of random things related to gaming, from just random trivia videos to crafting stuff. Just I had a lot of fun exploring video making and content creation, as you can see. Now my work is a little bit more serious, I would say, but it's still really fun to work in esports.
That's great to hear. That's great to hear. I mean, I'd imagine one question I mentioned that you say it's
Mhm.
really fun to work in esports. Obviously, I'm sure
Yeah.
you're a gamer, right? We're all gamers. How how do you balance working in a space that's also what you do to relax and unwind? Is there any sort of conflict there?
Yeah, I would say so. So basically, I stream a lot. So my streams, which is also considered technically work for me, is also the time where I get to like kind of relax and actually play games. Most of the time, I play League of Legends, and not just on stream, but even like if I'm not streaming and I'm playing a game, it is League of Legends because I need to understand the game better. So I ask, smarter questions to players so I understand the meta a little bit better and I just get better in the terms and make the content be better overall. I think it's really important. But yeah, it's definitely strange because it just so let's take it back to the beginning of my career. I started studying game development, and when you study game development, one of the things that you learn first is that games, they will never feel the same way as they did before you actually understood like the pipeline of a game, or you understood, I don't know, how 3D models are done or how storytelling should be done. It's different. I don't think I enjoy them less. I enjoy them differently. It's a different relationship, but it doesn't mean it's bad, if that makes sense to you. Does it?
But yeah. You see things a different way now. Yeah, you got
Do
more
you
excited
feel
the
that
back end
way?
thing. Yeah, to a degree. Yeah, obviously nowhere near the level of you, but yeah, it's a bit weird. It's fun though. It's
Yeah,
still very
okay.
fun.
Of course,
Um,
yeah.
I mean, so expanding on that, how has being an influencer in the esports scene changed your life in general? Like compared to Lara
I think
pre-sports and post-esports?
it's really interesting because I've been technically considered an influencer for a very long time. And not just when I entered esports. When I entered esports, I already had my own audience that wasn't necessarily into esports. They were into gaming, but like the esports audience came later. And it changed my life in ways that I wouldn't have expected. I always liked gaming. When I was in high school, I would compete in Smash Bros. Competitions because I enjoy the competition aspects, but I never expected esports to evolve to be where it is right now. And when I was in college, obviously, I was able to observe that progression, and it was interesting to see it, but I can't say that I was super into it back in college. Like in college, I was a really, really big nerd. I was focused on getting, like straight A's and getting good grades and like getting my internship. So I had no time for basically anything else, so let alone for playing that many games. Of course, I still
Mm-hmm.
played a bunch of stuff and what we call like the historical games and stuff that were for classes and
Yeah.
assignments. But it changed to me in the sense of like before all this, my content was was very pop culture, and
Mm-hmm.
it was fun. It was very generalized, but when I found a niche of esports, I found the true value of having an opinion and
Mm-hmm.
actually understanding something to a point where you can be a voice of authority, where you can actually explain what's going on in a game, or where you can actually form I don't know, opinions on not just the game itself, but like everything that's revolving around it. Like right now, the biggest discussion I would say is the world's jerseys that's going around in the world song. But like you will share bits and things about that, and it's just interesting to see how the esports audience reacts to it. I never expected to get into esports. I walked blindly into Ecofox. It was my first job after school was in a company that owned them, and
Mhm.
I didn't even know that they were part of that company before. I was there to work on a show, and it kind of just hit me. It was a surprise, but
Wow.
it's awesome. I travel the world. I've covered League of Legends in 3 different continents. It's crazy, honestly.
Wow. It sounds amazing.
Yeah,
Really does. I
yeah,
know
it's really
a lot of people I know in the collegiate scene are very, very jealous of that sort of experience. Quickly, you just mentioned the world song. Just a personal question here. Where do you rate
okay.
it? Where's it coming? Like,
Wait,
is
what was
it
that?
like
Sorry.
the world song? Where would you place it? Like top three
Oh,
songs
the
for world so
world
far?
song. No, not top three. It was fine. We had a discussion with editorial, and one of my colleagues has said these artists are all into very different genres, and it's going to be weird when they get together. And I felt like it
Mhm.
it was a bit strange. The song, I expected the theme around it to be a little different, to be just more than
Mm,
just let's go be badass and defeat the best players. I expected it to be something that would be in some way more tied to the situation that we're all in right now, which is like it's the elephant in
yeah.
the room, and it feels to me like Riot it's like kind of ignoring that, even though it's very
Mm,
clear that it's they're all enclosed in a hotel in China, and like how
yeah,
can we
it's
like
crazy.
not like take in account like the pandemic. And I was expecting the theme to be something like we will overcome this if we would get through this,
Hmm.
but it was just overcoming getting defeated in the game, and that's like isn't that the theme of every world song? It was just a bit
Yeah, of course.
boring. I
Yeah.
felt like this year there was room for more, and they didn't take advantage of
Hmm.
it.
That makes sense. Makes sense.
The
Yeah.
tune itself is all right, I guess, but obviously I was thinking about the whole meaning.
Yeah, it's okay. They're a bit better. I mean, but you've got things like
Yeah,
Warriors. Like, you can't
I think
go. You
Phoenix
can't.
was cooler, even though it was not the world song. It was the closing song, technically, wasn't it? Maybe I'm wrong, but
Yeah,
I
it
thought
was. Yeah,
Phoenix
yeah,
was
yeah.
last year was
Yeah.
hype.
Phoenix currently. Phoenix currently. So, question: what is your favorite thing about the esports community as it stands today? And building on that, what's one thing you would change currently?
One thing that I would change, and one thing that's my
Hmm.
favorite. One thing that's
Hmm.
my favorite is the passion. I think it's very clear that most fans in esports, I would say, even are overly passionate. If you go on Reddit, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But
Hmm.
I think it's
Yeah.
it's the passion, and it's liking something so much to be almost an obsession to become your lifestyle. I think it's really interesting, and it really like moves us as a tribe. It doesn't really
Hmm.
matter which game you're watching, right? I feel like that
Yeah.
sentiment of like that sportsmanship almost is a thing that I really like. I was always into sports. I grew up in Brazil, so you know, soccer and
Yeah. That's huge.
volleyball. I
Yeah.
played a lot of that. So translating that into gaming to me is my favorite part. What I would change, yes, I would change so many things. First, I would obviously like to see more girls inserted in the roster, and I think that working deeply in the field, I would change like the way that like girls are still perceived in gaming, and like even as
Hmm.
professionals, when a girl joins a team, it's always like, oh my god, which player is she gonna date first, or oh my god, like is she gonna play support, or it's just it gets really old, and like you're just
Yeah, I
here
can
to do a
imagine.
good job, and this is constantly what you're met with. So I think that's what I
Hmm.
would change. I want more
Well,
girls working in it.
yeah, I think I can agree with him that. Do you have any advice building on that for people trying to get to start in esports content creation? Maybe even girls trying to get started in esports content, or even
Yeah,
esports in general.
definitely. I think I think a lot of times people just say just get started, but I think just getting started nowadays is not enough, and you won't make the cut if you just get started. You're just gonna get started, and then what? You need to think about the then what. you need to trace a plan. You need to look at the people that are succeeding and actually pinpointing why is it that they are succeeding, why is it that people are choosing to watch their content over this other person's content, why is it that they're choosing to read their interviews as opposed.
Things just step like that.
I'm back. Hi,
Hey,
sorry.
welcome back.
Sorry. Thank you.
Sorry, you did get interrupted there, talking about getting back into streaming. You do. I've seen you do some amazing cosplays. I've seen your Instagram. Like, wow, you put a lot of effort in. It really, really does show.
Thank you.
How did that start? Like,
Ah man, that it started at the same time that like I would go to conventions to compete. It was around like when I was like 13, 14. I actually don't recall exactly the time that I started cosplaying. I'm pretty sure it was like 14. And I just randomly one day was getting out of school on a Saturday, always fun. And there was another school that was hosting an event, and I was like, "Why are these people dressed like Naruto? This is awesome!" And I had no idea that this like fandom existed. I just really
mhm,
like found this convention. I was like, "Mom, can we just go, please?" Like I've never seen
mhm,
this in my life, and we did, and I was like so impressed. It was a huge convention too. I got to see like people presenting like the voice actors. Like in
mhm,
Brazil, that's like a really big thing, right? Like I feel like in English speaking countries, you guys don't have that excitement, I guess, unless it's for anime. But like in Brazil,
mhm.
everything needs voice acting. So like we're big fans
Okay.
of that. And like, oh, I was just so stoked to see all that. And from there, I kept doing it. My mom, she always spoiled me a bunch, and she had like a costume designer that would make me really nice cosplays. And then
Mhm.
one day I was kind of rebellious and was like, no, I heard mom on the internet about this girl called Yaya Han, and she makes her own costumes on DeviantArt. Okay, so I want to try that. And I started trying to make my own costumes, and it was interesting. Like it was just I don't know. Like my mom will help me out, and she taught me some stuff, and I enjoyed it. So I kept doing it, and I kept doing it for a very long time, and eventually you get good, right? Like when you keep,
Yeah.
trying to tackle like projects. But
Mhm.
yeah, I'm like a cosplay dinosaur at this point. I guess been doing it for over 10 years.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So I suppose over that amount of time, must have done quite a few. Do you have any that? What's your favorite cosplay so far? Do you have one?
Mm, yeah, I have many. I think I have a love and hate relationship with my Samus Variasuit because I know exactly how it was done and I know exactly what I would do to change it. But it was nominated as one of the cosplays of the year by Esports Awards, so I guess I did it right, which is really nice. I love that outfit. It was done completely cheap. It cost me maybe $100 in materials, but it looks like it cost me 10 grand. So I like those costumes, you know. It was extremely difficult to make, and I attempted to make it 4 times before, and they all look like garbage. And it was nice to get the design kind of right for
Mhm.
once, and
Yeah.
it got a positive result. So yeah.
On that note, Lara has been nominated for the an esports award in the cosplay category. Do go vote; it
Vote
is
for me.
amazing.
Yes.
Marshall, can you grab a link and post it in the stream chat for people to go have a
Oh,
look at
thank
that?
you. Yes.
Um,
Yes.
so, say, what would be a cosplay that you'd like to do? Maybe like, logistically, it's not possible right now, or just not have the time. What's that? What's it? What's the goal? What's the dream?
Uh, the dream was the various suit, and it took me a few years to tackle that. The dream would be to do uh I don't know, probably another Samus outfit. I'm a big sucker for Samus, or maybe do I don't know. I'm trying to think because nowadays like I've gotten to that level where I have cosplayed so many things that the dream has been achieved quite a few times. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Maybe I think Lilia would be really nice. It would be impossible. Nothing like I've ever done before. The new League
Yeah.
of Legends champion.
Hmm.
Yeah. Don't
Now,
think
now,
they'll happen. It sounds way too complicated, but it would be really cool.
yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, how would you even the back end? Like, wouldn't?
I did
I think
no idea how that
if you could
happened.
pull it off, I think it'd be amazing, but I think it'd be a nightmare to get done.
Nah, I don't think I could. I could do it
Mhm.
like and look decent. It would look uncanny valley and kind of weird.
Mm, it makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you played League a lot. Do you have any like what's your favorite game? Is it are you a
Mm,
League girl or?
I think favorite game is like a really broad question, right? Because I feel like I
Mhm.
play different games depending on different moods that I have. One of my favorite series is Fallout. I absolutely love just spending countless hours,
Yeah.
like building up my base and helping out settlements. I really like Fallout 4. I think Fallout New Vegas is my favorite game of all
Hmm.
times. Then the Metroid series, of course, Legend of Zelda, which is
Of course.
yeah, it's fantastic. I actually learned how to speak most of my English through that game because I would read
Really?
in a dictionary. Yeah, yeah, I'm a
Wow.
sucker for Zelda. You have no idea.
The
Yeah, I liked
soundtrack.
it enough that I bugged my mom for it. Yeah, soundtrack's so good. But competitively nowadays, it's League of Legends,
Hmm.
and I ignored League of Legends for a very long time. I played it since season 1, and then like I would take hiatuses
Okay.
and breaks and like not really get back to it. But I think I
Okay.
don't know when I'm tilted and I just want to de-stress nowadays. I just go to League because it's a quick game. So.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Do you have anything upcoming? Any games upcoming you've been watching? Like Cyberpunk coming soon.
Yes, Cyberpunk. I was gonna say if it ever gets released,
Yeah,
it would be Cyberpunk for sure.
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, let's have a look. Ali in the chat is asking, what do you feel like is the fastest avenue to getting a start in esports broadly? I know it's a how long is a piece of string question, but do you have any advice specifically for students?
I think as a student, it would be really nice if you learned I don't know how to write, how to storytell. That's like something that I neglected for a really long time in content creation. I had no idea how to properly write. I mean, to be quite fair, when I started creating content, I was not even fluent in English. And I think it's really, really important that you understand how to tell a story and not have any holes in it. Make sure that it's compelling, make sure that people are hooked to your content. So start off in writing. Maybe you can
Hmm.
I know a lot of students that like do content for outlets. They would
Hmm.
do content for like esport maniacos. This is people here in Europe. Like they're mostly like Spanish speaking, but they'll like start off with like translations. Maybe to you that's
Hmm.
not an option, but you can start creating like I don't know, making columns and writing and interviewing. I think that's a great way to start.
Okay, thank you. Um, PS5, Xbox, or PC for you?
PC Master Race always.
That is the
Obviously.
correct answer. That is the correct answer.
Is the only answer. It's the only answer. No, I actually, I think it would be hypocritical of me to just say PC. I like all consoles. I think there are fantastic titles, especially indie, in every console. So if I can, I will always keep all consoles. Right now, for me,
Okay,
my mains are PC and Switch.
that's fair. That's fair. Well,
Yeah.
Lara, thank you very much for taking the time to speak to us today. It's been really
Yeah.
interesting. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Have a great one.